It's getting way too easy to do live events now. In this video, we're going to show you everything you need to know about using the Mackie Thrash 212 Go. It's a battery-powered 12-inch speaker. We're going to go through all the specs, build quality, impressions, all that type of stuff. We're going to do some connectivity demos where we can connect a microphone straight to it, an audio mixer straight to it. Of course, you're going to get to hear how this speaker sounds. Then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the sound quality, who this is for, and who this maybe isn't the best fit for. Now, for full disclosure, these speakers were sent to me from Mackie. Their only requirement was that I include these speakers somehow in my channel. So everything that I tell you in this video is my opinion. They didn't give me a script. They didn't tell me what specs to mention. They didn't tell me what videos to even make with these speakers. I open these speakers. Everything I tell you in this video is my experience with them, coupled with my experience in the event industry. I used to own a production company that did 1,200 events a year. So I have a pretty good feel for where these speakers sit in the market and the value that they bring to the market and to people like you that are looking for a pair of powered speakers. Next, in terms of price, as you know, the price does go up and down over time. So we have some links down in the description below where you can find the current up-to-date price from everything that you see in this video from a variety of online retailers to help you get the best price possible. Next, let's talk about some specs that I think are important to you. I'm going to put these specs on the screen so you can read them as well. They have a power output or peak power output of 300 watts. They have a frequency response range of 52 hertz to 20 kilohertz. And they have a max SPL output of 125 dB. Now, if you can take a look at the front of the speaker here, you can see that the low driver is a true full-size 12-inch driver. It has a peak output of 250 watts. And the high frequency driver up above it here is a 1-inch driver, has a peak frequency output of 50 watts, and combined, both of them do use Class D amplifiers. Now, the audio coverage of this speaker is 90 degrees wide and 60 degrees vertical. So if you're using it upright, that's a pretty typical example, or if it's sideways on the floor, that 90-degree dispersion will hit you just fine, and 60 degrees top to bottom is pretty typical as well. So this is right in the range of most other 12-inch powered speakers. Now, if you're looking at overall design and build quality, your first impressions are as good as mine. It's a sleek looking black powered speaker, metal grill, plastic box. The plastic box is going to give you more durability. It's not necessarily the best for sound quality compared to a hardwood box or something like that, but these are extremely popular in the event industry because they're rugged, it makes them lightweight, they're flexible to use, and they do still sound great. Now, one pet peeve when you're looking at this, you can tell that if you're using this as a floor monitor on the stage, the green handles will stand out. I love this if you're using it for a party speaker or just DJ stuff, but if you're ever using this for a corporate event, you're going to have to pull these handles off and quickly spray paint them. Now, while we're talking about the handles here, there are 4 handles, top, bottom, left, and right. I love that they added the bottom handle. I think that's so convenient. It's actually my most comfortable way to carry a speaker. Makes it easy when you're going up and onto a stand to get that bottom handle there. A lot of speaker companies don't do this at all. I think it's an extremely underrated handle position. That being said, in the real world, you can make it work no matter what. I just mention it because it is nice to have, and most boxes now just have the 3 handles at the top. Next, at the bottom of the speaker, there's a single pole mount, so you don't get a tilted pole mount like some other speakers have, just a single fixed one with a tension knob there to tighten everything for you. Again, this is 35 pounds, so it's really manageable to get the speaker up and onto a stand if you're trying to do that. Now, it's not like a 40 pound, 50 pound, or sometimes 60 pound speaker. This is extremely manageable. I think most people would be able to do this. Another nice option that they had is you can tell that both sides are slanted with the grippy feet. So if you want the horn on the left or the right, if you're using it as a floor monitor on the stage, you can do that if you want symmetrical or if you want them both leaning left or both leaning right. You have all kinds of different configuration options here, so I think that is good. Now, they are both at the same angle. It's not like you get more or less on any one side, but you do get both left and right options for you to use. Now, the battery life here is the shining star of this speaker. This is a Mackie Thrash 212 speaker with a battery added into it. That battery will give you an estimated or marketed lifetime of 10 hours. I can say with my testing this month, I haven't been using it for like music for 10 hours, but I've been using it in the gym a lot. So it's cranked up and playing music quite a bit. maybe not at the volume that you would have as a full PA. And I can tell you that this will go much longer than 10 hours. My experience right now is 11 hours, it's still a green light. So it's pretty good that way. Obviously, as you use it, battery life will decay over time. And realistically, I don't think anybody's going to a battery powered speaker to lean on it for 10 hours at an event. I think the sweet spot when you would consider using a battery powered speaker is 3 or 4 hours. So even if you do have this thing pinned, I'm pretty confident that you would use this and get good value out of the battery life. Now it is an 8800 milliamp hour battery. You can see where it goes just right in the bottom of the speaker here. There are 2 screws here and you can buy replaceable batteries for this. So if you do have this for several years and your battery is decaying, you can easily swap it. Or if you're anything like me and you end up with 3 or 4 of these speakers, it's nice to have a battery backup in the van or something like that. So if anything does happen, if your battery is left on overnight and you get to the event, you have a dead battery, at least you have a backup and you can just swap it in really easy. So that's really cool. Nice feature that they added there with the swappable battery. In terms of letting you know exactly how to use it, you can see here on the back of the speaker that there is a battery indicator light. Green is good, yellow needs a charge, red is like full-blown panic mode. Get this thing plugged in as soon as you can or swap the battery out. Now beside that battery life, you can see our connectivity options here. Again, this is a Thrash 212 speaker. This is the entry-level speaker of the Mackie speaker line. So you're not going to get an onboard DSP. You're not going to get a bunch of that internal routing or an internal mixer. This is a bare bones plug and play powered speaker, which I think is perfect for a battery powered speaker. Let's just quickly take a look here. So you have 2 combi jack inputs where you can do 1/4 inch or XLR. If you take a look up at the volume knob here, you can see that the volume knob goes from off to line level. So if you have a line level input from an audio mixer, you're going to be turned way down there. U is 0 or unity. That's the natural spot for the speaker to be set. And if you are plugging in a microphone directly into it, that mic level signal is going to need more volume out of the amplifier. So you're going to turn it up to that 3/4 position or that 3 o'clock position there in order to get a proper sound out of the speaker if you're using a microphone input. As you move down the second channel here, compare with Bluetooth for your phone or laptop. You just simply press a button. It shows up in your device. You click it, you pair. It's pretty easy. There's no code, there's no password, that type of thing. So if you are doing an event, I wouldn't lean on Bluetooth for all these reasons. I'd keep this channel 2 turned all the way down just in case somebody's trying to prank you and connect to it or something like that. If you're getting paid to do an event, I'd be using wired inputs and outputs. I wouldn't be leaning on the Bluetooth connectivity here. But if you're just using this as a party speaker in between events or something like that, that's a really good function for you to have. Next, there's a link button here, so that will Bluetooth link the speakers. Again, you just press it on both speakers and they automatically figure it out. It's a pretty slick setup, but I wouldn't count on this for an event. I only tested it once. Again, I don't think it adds that much value because if you're getting paid for an event, you should be wiring your connections. I would not be relying on Bluetooth for that. Next, you have the main output volume here, and then you have the XLR line level output, so you can connect this or daisy chain it to other powered speakers with your sound system. All right, next, let's show you how to do some of the connectivity on the Mackie Thrash 212 Go. First of all, let's plug a dynamic microphone, the most famous microphone in the world, the Shure SM58. We're going to connect this straight to the back of the powered speaker without using an audio mixer. So to do that, we're just going to connect this XLR cable to the back of the speaker. I'm going to turn the speaker on. I'm going to turn my main output here up to about 50%, and then I'm going to turn up channel 1. You can see here as I get up to that mic level that we are getting sound. So you can play with it to get more output here. I do think that that output level is acceptable if your presenter has good mic technique. This would be a good option if you're doing quick announcements in a hallway or a temporary event or something really quick. Just plug a microphone straight into the back of the speaker, then you can turn it up. Next, if you want to connect your audio mixer to your powered speaker here, it's exactly the same. You take your XLR line level output out of your audio mixer. You can use a 1/4 inch TRS output as well. Whatever you're doing, you can take this from a DJ controller. Whatever you're doing, this will work the same for you. Connect this to the back of the speaker. Now this will be a line level signal, so we're only going to turn it up to where it says line. So you can see when we're using a line level output from an audio mixer, we do get a lot more output out of the speaker, but in a pinch, you can connect your microphone straight to the powered speaker and turn it all the way up if you need to. Next, let's do a sound demo of the Mackie Thrash 2i2 Go. I'm going to play some royalty-free music here from Epidemic Sound. Again, just take this with a grain of salt. I'm not going to EQ it or anything like that, but I am putting a microphone in front of a speaker in a studio to capture this recording, and then it does get edited and uploaded and all that stuff. So it's not the most realistic way. If you want to hear a sound demo for real, just go to your local music store and ask them if you can turn it up. The Rode NT1 that I'm going to use here is relatively flat. It's known for being flat and giving an accurate response, but just take it with a grain of salt.
We head into town, see what it's about. Barely need a shirt, though the sun has almost set. Make the most of it. I know we will dance and sing. There's a heat wave. There's a heat wave rolling in. There's a heat wave, yeah. There's a party in the streets and the city's on fire.
Okay, so overall impressions of the sound are that it's pretty good, especially for an entry-level speaker, especially since they've, had to make some compromises to make sure that it's lightweight with a battery. It's still under 35 pounds. It's a plastic box, but it is a full 12-inch cone on the front, and you have a good high-frequency driver in there. I think for the price, you're getting everything that you pay for. You're not getting cut corners at this price. You're getting a full value at the price of the speaker. Now, is this rider friendly? No. Would I use this as a front PA as my main choice? No. Would I choose to use this for a band or anything like that? No. But does it work in all those situations? Of course you can make it work, and you do get a ton of flexibility with the features of this speaker. So who is this speaker for? What are my opinions on it? I think the best example of who should buy this speaker is a DJ that already has a sound system, or a production company that already has a sound system, or a band that already has a sound system. If you're in one of those situations, you already have your main PA set up, you have really high quality speakers out front, and your third or fourth speaker, your fifth or sixth speaker don't have to have that same level of quality. What you're looking for is functionality. If you're a DJ, you have your main setup at the dance floor, but you still need to do the ceremony, and you might have delay speakers running across the hall or into another room or something like that. So you can do your wireless wedding ceremony. That's super easy to set up and strike, and then bring it in and use the speakers as auxiliary speakers or monitors or breakout room or something like that. Same thing if you're a production company. Yeah, if you're doing an event that you're shipping, 10, 12 speakers to, like we used to do all the time at a big hall somewhere or a bunch of breakout rooms, I would be throwing in 2 or 4 of these to save your butt. We all know that the client will randomly come up to you and say, hey, I have some quick announcements to make in the foyer, or hey, I need music out in the parking lot, or there's a vendor that needs music out here, there's a vendor doing a presentation here. And it's just easy to grab a speaker and go, and then you can just connect whatever you want. You're not worried about power and extension cords and taping everything down. It's so much faster, and it's going to save your butt in a lot of different ways. If you can identify with any of those scenarios, then I think this speaker is for you. Now, who is this speaker not for? I would say if you're a band that's usually locked and loaded and self-sustained, you don't need the battery. That's not a big deal for you. You just need your monitors on the stage and your main PA. Then these probably aren't the best speaker for you because you're paying for something that you're not going to use. So in a situation like that, or if you need to have rider-friendly speakers or something like that, then obviously these entry-level speakers aren't going to work for you. But my overall recommendation here is that the battery technology is getting really good, and they're packing it into proper speakers now. These aren't party speakers. They aren't just battery speakers. This is a real speaker now that has a 10-hour battery life. And I think most production companies and most DJs should be considering having 1 or 2 of these on the truck at all time. It's going to save your butt in a ton of different situations, and you're going to get your value out of it. If you are looking for pricing or specs, or you're wanting to buy these speakers, again, we do have some links down in the description below, not only for this, but everything else you see in this video and some other wireless battery powered speakers as well. If you have any questions or comments on this video or anything sound system related in general, please leave a comment down below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.